Cosmoetica holds most of, well, not most of, not even close, but it holds a portion of your work, bearing the fact that there's no publication for your work later on, and I'm optimistic, and I hope you have maintained your optimism. You would likely put everything on Cosmoetica, right?
No, I mean, because unless let's say if I'm a widower and I'm 80 years old and I'm not going to be able to make any money, I would probably get someone like Alex Sheremit if he's still alive, or you if you're still alive, or some other young kid that comes along, and I probably will you to ask you to be a literary executor to see if they could get published. But once I'm dead, it would be like what I'm trying to do for James Emanuel, that get it out there. The James Emanuel thing is very frustrating because apparently he left no will, so there are no executors of his will. And so that means that these idiots who have his poems that are published by Lotus Press or other presses, it's a mishmash. And how the hell to do it? I'm not there.
Yeah, you've done some good insurance. There's several curators of your poems and most of your books.
Yeah.
And the one question related to that: once you are dead and gone, would you have Cosmoetica live on after it, or would you?
I would
cease?
what I would like to do is, I guess I would do is I would, if I'm old, I would go to a university. One of the things I'm going to have to do is will and have a will to say, let's say if I'm living in Texas, well, who knows if I retire and move out to New Mexico, and will my works to be archived there, send copies to the library, Library of Congress, um, uh, release them into either public domain so that things like the Dover books or the Wordsworth editions in Britain would be free to publish them. If I can't make any money on it, I want it out there. I mean, I want my work and Jessica's work out there. I mean, I do think that something can happen in 5 or 10 years. Again, what I had stated earlier, this vexes Jessica to such a degree, and it thereby vexes me. It vexes me a little bit on my own, but mostly via Jessica and the psychological damage it does to her. I mean, people talk. You talk about the psychological damage of Ted Hughes to a Sylvia Plath, but what about the psychological damage of all these bad editors, these bad publishers that only publish their fucking friends, only look to see if there's an MFA, because they only publish these fucking MFA hacks because they have an MFA. And you rub my back, I'll rub your back, instead of looking at the work. And most of these people have been, they're 2 or 3 generations removed from when great writing was being taught. I have nothing against multiculturalism as an idea, that you should praise great people who come up with great inventions, or who are great leaders, who are black or Chicana or gay or women or Jews or Muslims or whatnot. But their work has to do that. You can't use tokens. This is one of the major problems with liberal political philosophy too. Is the liberals use tokenism to an even more frustrating and vexing degree than were used by conservatives. To me, an Aunt Jemima can be offensive, but these people didn't know any better. When Aunt Jemima came along, people didn't know any better. But people like that, Humble the Poet, people like Maya Angelou, they they per, they procreate even more stereotypes. And these are the things, when you're taught that Maya Angelou is some kind of a writer of substance, even if you're ignoring her sub Hallmark card verse and just dealing with her 6 or 7 memoirs, starting with "I Know Why a Caged Bird Sings," or "I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings," even if to do that, it does such damage, because you have people then growing up that, I remember Jessica saying to me, and I think Alex and a few other young people saying that they would be taught this stuff in college, which it gives an imprimatur, and saying, "But this is bad. Why are you telling me this is good? Why are you holding this up as good? I can tell this is bad. And this makes people then say, is there something wrong with me? This is why Jessica will question her own great writing, because some idiot editor who wants to publish hick by this 12-year-old girl, I forget her real name, Andrea Portes, that just came to me. I think that's her name. If you're, this agent would say, oh, one agent said, oh, your book is great, Jessica, but she wanted to publish Andrea Portes's Hick, because that's also a great book. No, it isn't. I read that book. I read through like 80% of that book literally in about less than a half an hour, when I was sitting one time at a Barnes and Noble and Jess was off looking through her own whatever else she had caught her attention. And I'm like, how the hell can you say that? If you tell me, oh, Dan Schneider is a great poet, just like James Tate, that tells me you don't have any fucking clue.